A flicker of light on Sienna's phone stopped my heart cold. Declan's name, a ghost I thought was buried forever, glared back at me. Something felt wrong, and I needed to know the truth. I stood frozen in our living room, the faint hum of the TV fading into nothing. Sienna sat curled on the couch, her eyes red and swollen, clutching that phone like it held her soul. My stomach twisted as I crossed the room, each step heavier than the last. I wanted to understand her pain. She looked up, her voice barely a whisper. Declan died yesterday. He fell during a climb. My mind reeled. Declan, the guy who nearly tore us apart 5 years ago, was gone. I should have felt something, anything, but all I could muster was a shrug. Poor guy, I said, my tone flat. He kind of had it coming, with those stunts he pulled, scaling cliffs for kicks. Her face changed in an instant, like I had slapped her. She snapped, standing so fast the phone clattered to the floor. Something is wrong with you, Miles. He had a family. A brother, parents. You're so cold. Her words hit like a punch, but I didn't flinch. Cold? I wanted to laugh. Declan wasn't just some thrill-seeker who slipped. He was the guy who wormed his way into her heart when we were barely starting out. 3 months into our relationship, I found their messages. Flirty, intimate, the kind that made my chest burn. She swore it was nothing physical, just a stupid mistake, and I forgave her. I thought I had. But now, seeing her unravel over him, that old wound ripped wide open. I leaned against the wall, my hands stuffed in my pockets to hide how they shook. Sienna, I said, keeping my voice steady, you haven't talked to him in years. You said so yourself? Her silence was deafening. She looked away, her fingers twisting the hem of her shirt. That pause, that tiny crack in her composure, sent a chill down my spine. I sensed something hidden beneath her grief. My mind flashed to the past. Declan, with his smug grin, mocked me at a party once, calling me short like it was a punchline. I hated him then, hated how he lingered in her life even after she promised he was gone. And yet, I had planned to propose to her. I picked out the ring, a simple band she would love. But now, watching her mourn him, I felt like a fool. Her pain for him cast a shadow over everything I believed we had. Sienna turned back to me, her eyes blazing. You don't get it, she said, her voice rising. He was a person, Miles. He mattered to me once. You could at least pretend to care. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Pretend? Every fiber of me screamed betrayal. I didn't wish him dead, but I wouldn't cry for a guy who disrespected me, who almost stole her away. The air between us grew thick, heavy with things unsaid. I took a step toward her, my heart pounding. Sienna, I said, softer now, I need the truth. Something feels off. Her lips parted, but before she could answer, her phone buzzed on the floor. Another message. My eyes flicked to the screen, and I saw Declan's name, tied to some memorial post. She snatched it up, but not before I saw the photo, her and Declan, years ago, laughing together. My blood ran cold. I demanded to know why she kept that photo, my voice low, dangerous. She froze, her face pale. It's nothing, she stammered. Just old memories. Memories, I repeated, my anger flaring. Memories that made her cry like I didn't exist. I turned away, my chest tight, unable to look at her. Miles, wait, she called, but I was already at the door, my hand on the knob. I stopped, my back to her, and spoke my truth. You're right. I don't understand you. Not anymore. I walked out, the door clicking shut behind me, her muffled sob echoing in my ears. Outside, the night air hit me like a slap, but it couldn't drown out the storm in my head. I wondered if I had been too harsh. Maybe the truth was finally clear. Before we dive deeper into this roller coaster of a story, I want to hear from you. Where are you listening from today? Drop a comment and let me know. If this drama has you hooked, hit that subscribe button to support more tales like this. I sat on a bench down the street, my breath uneven, replaying every word. Sienna's tears, her anger, that photo they churned inside me, each one a puzzle piece I didn't want to fit together. I loved her, more than I could say, but love wasn't supposed to feel like this, like a knife twisting deeper every second. I pulled out my phone, my thumb hovering over her name. I considered calling her, demanding answers, or letting it go. My heart said one thing, my gut another. All I knew was this: whatever came next, nothing would be the same. I slumped on that bench for hours, the night wrapping around me like a heavy coat. Sienna's sob lingered in my ears, joined by that image of her and Declan, frozen in time on her phone. My chest ached with anger and confusion. I needed clarity, so I opened my phone and poured my story into an anonymous post on a forum, my fingers trembling as I typed. Every word felt like a confession, raw and jagged, exposing the mess inside me. By morning, replies flooded in, each one a new lens on my pain. Some strangers sided with me, saying Sienna had no right to expect my grief for a guy who betrayed me. One user, Shadowwalker, wrote that her tears seemed excessive for someone she claimed was history. Others were harsher, calling my reaction heartless, urging me to apologize for dismissing Declan's death. Their words clashed in my head, pulling me in opposite directions. Part of me wanted to run back to her, to smooth things over, but another part, sharper and colder, demanded answers. I scrolled further, my breath catching on a comment from Nightold23. Her crying that hard suggests they never really cut contact, it said. I should check her messages. My pulse quickened. The idea felt like a betrayal of trust, but so did her secrecy. I closed the app, my hands clammy, and stared at the streetlights flickering in the dawn. I wondered if she had lied all this time. The thought gnawed at me, a splinter I couldn't ignore. I wandered to a diner nearby, the smell of coffee grounding me as I sat in a corner booth. My phone buzzed with a text from Sienna. She asked me to come home, saying we needed to talk. I stared at it, my thumb hovering, but didn't reply. I replayed our fight, searching for clues in her eyes, her voice. That pause when I pressed her about Declan, it wasn't just grief. It felt like guilt, or something close. I sipped my coffee, the bitterness matching my mood, and opened the forum again. Another comment, from Blue Horizon, pushed me further. People don't mourn like that for old news, it said. She's hiding something. Secrets might be stashed somewhere. My heart pounded as I left the diner, the morning air sharp against my skin. I didn't want to believe it, but the seed was planted, growing thorns with every step. I caught a bus back to our neighborhood, my mind racing. Sienna deserved a chance to explain, but I needed to know what I was walking into. As I neared our apartment, I stopped at a park across the street, my eyes locked on our window. The curtains were drawn, but a light glowed inside. I imagined her awake, waiting for me, or perhaps scrolling through more memories of him. Then I saw it, a delivery guy approach our door, holding a small package. Sienna opened it, her face pale even from this distance. She signed for it, glanced around, and slipped back inside, clutching the box like it was fragile. My stomach dropped. I wondered what it could be. Flowers? A condolence gift? Something tied to Declan she didn't want me to see? I gripped the park bench, my knuckles white, every instinct screaming to barge in and demand answers. I didn't move. Not yet. I needed to be sure, to face her with more than suspicions. I pulled out my phone again, rereading Nightold23's words about checking her messages. The suggestion felt wrong, invasive, but so did the idea of living another day in the dark. I stood, my resolve hardening like steel. Sienna was waiting, and so was the truth, whatever it cost me. I crossed the street, each step a countdown to a conversation that could change everything. My boots echoed on the apartment stairs, each step heavier than the last. The image of Sienna clutching that mysterious package burned in my mind, a puzzle piece I couldn't place. I reached our door, my hand hesitating on the knob. The forum's warning echoed inside me: check her messages, find the truth. I pushed the door open, the faint creak slicing through the silence. Sienna sat on the couch, the package unopened beside her, her eyes locked on her phone. She startled as I entered, shoving the device under a cushion like a guilty secret. My chest tightened, but I kept my face steady. We needed to talk, I said, my voice low. She nodded, her fingers twisting nervously, and gestured for me to sit. I stayed standing, the distance between us feeling like miles. I didn't ease into it. That box, I said, pointing. What is it? Her gaze flicked to it, then back to me, her lips parting but no words coming. It's nothing, she said finally, her voice thin. Just something from a friend. A friend, I repeated, my tone sharp. Like Declan was a friend? Her eyes widened, and I saw it, panic, raw and unmistakable. My heart sank. There was no going back now. I sat across from her, my hands clenched to stop their trembling. Tell me everything, I said, softer but firm. No more lies. She looked down, her shoulders sagging, and for a moment I thought she'd shut me out. Then she spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. I loved him, Miles. Not just a fling. I fell for him, hard, for 6 months after it started. My breath caught, the room spinning. 6 months. Not a mistake, not a lapse. A choice, made over and over while I believed we were building something real. I leaned forward, my pulse racing. You said you cut him off, I said, struggling to keep my voice even. She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. I did, mostly. But we messaged sometimes, just small stuff. On social media, nothing big. Nothing big, I echoed, my anger rising. Then why hide it? Why cry like he was still part of you? She flinched, wrapping her arms around herself, but I pressed on. Open the box, Sienna. Now. She hesitated, then reached for it with shaking hands. She tore it open, revealing a leather-bound journal, worn and weathered. It was his, she said, her voice breaking. His sister sent it. He wrote about his climbs, his life. About me. My stomach churned as she flipped it open, pages filled with Declan's scrawl. I saw my name once, twice, and felt sick. He hadn't just lingered in her heart, he'd documented it. I stood, pacing to keep from exploding. You kept this from me for years, I said, my voice rising. You let me think we were past it. She sobbed, reaching for me, but I stepped back. There's more, she said, her words barely audible. He messaged me once, a year ago. He wanted to apologize to you for everything. I told him no, that it would hurt you too much. I thought I was protecting you. Protecting me, I roared, my control snapping. You chose him, Sienna. You hid his sorry excuse for remorse because you didn't want him out of your life. Her face crumpled, but I couldn't stop. I saw the ring in my mind, the one I'd nearly bought, and laughed, bitter and hollow. I was ready to marry you, I said, my voice cracking. And you were still tied to him. I grabbed my jacket, my vision blurring with rage and pain. Miles, please, she begged, standing to follow me. I can't lose you. I shook my head, the weight of her words crushing me. You already did, I said, the finality of it cutting deep. I walked out, slamming the door, her cries muffled behind me. My legs carried me down the street, past the park, until I reached a friend's place. I knocked, my hands shaking, and when he opened the door, I collapsed onto his couch, my world in pieces. I stared at the ceiling, Declan's journal flashing in my mind, each word a betrayal I couldn't unsee. Sienna's love for him, her lies, her choice to shield his apology, they tore through me, leaving nothing but questions. I'd given her everything, and she'd given him a corner of her heart. As my friend handed me a beer, I knew one thing for certain. I wasn't going back. I sank into my friend Jack's couch, the dim glow of his living room lamp casting shadows that felt too much like my thoughts. My body ached, heavy with the weight of Sienna's confession, her voice still echoing in my skull. 6 months of love for Declan, hidden messages, a journal filled with his obsession. I stared at the beer in my hand, untouched, my appetite for anything gone. Jack sat across from me, silent, giving me space to breathe. But breathing hurt, every inhale pulling me deeper into a void I couldn't name. My phone buzzed relentlessly, Sienna's name flashing with each text. I'm sorry. Please talk to me. I need you. I swiped them away, my fingers numb, but they kept coming, piling up like accusations. I turned the phone face down, my heart twisting. I wanted to believe her regret, to run back and hold her, but the image of that journal stopped me cold. Her secrets had built a wall between us, and I didn't know how to tear it down. Jack suggested I crash for the night, his voice gentle but firm. I nodded, grateful for the anchor, and curled up on the couch under a thin blanket. Sleep wouldn't come, though. My mind churned, replaying every moment I thought I knew her, late-night talks, road trips, her laugh filling our apartment. Had any of it been real? I pressed my palms to my eyes, willing the thoughts to stop, but they only grew louder, sharper, cutting deeper. By morning, I couldn't stand the silence. I'd opened my phone again, this time to the forum where I'd spilled my story. New replies waited, strangers offering comfort that felt both distant and vital. One user, Dawnchaser, wrote that I deserved better than half-truths, that staying would only trap me in her shadow. Another, Quiet Storm, said her tears didn't excuse years of deception. Their words steadied me, like a hand pulling me from quicksand. I typed a quick update, my fingers unsteady, admitting I'd left and didn't know what came next. Hitting post felt like a release, a small act of defiance against the chaos. Then my phone buzzed again, not Sienna this time, but Jack. He'd stepped out for coffee and texted a warning. "She's here, man." Outside. My pulse spiked, my body jolting upright. I crossed to the window, parting the blinds just enough to see. Sienna stood on the sidewalk, her hair tangled, her face streaked with tears. She clutched her jacket, pacing, her eyes darting toward the house. My throat tightened, a mix of pity and rage flooding me. She looked broken, but so was I, and I couldn't fix us both. She knocked, soft at first, then harder, her voice muffled but desperate. "Miles, I know you're in there. Please. I need to explain." I froze, my hand hovering over the doorknob, every nerve screaming to open it. But I saw the journal again, her handwriting in my head, her choice to hide Declan's apology. That betrayal outweighed her pleas. I backed away, my breath shallow, and sank to the floor, my back against the wall. Her knocks grew frantic, then stopped, replaced by a sob that pierced me deeper than any words. Jack returned minutes later, his face grim. "She's gone," he said, setting a coffee cup beside me. I didn't touch it, my hands too shaky to hold anything. I looked at my phone, the forum still open, and saw a new comment from Dawnchaser. "You walked away for you, not against her. Keep going." I exhaled, the words sinking in, giving me something to hold on to. Sienna's text had stopped, but I knew this wasn't over. Not yet. I leaned my head back, my eyes burning, and made a choice. I wasn't going back, not to her, not to the lies. The void was still there, but for the first time, I felt a flicker of strength to face it. I woke on Jack's couch, the morning light filtering through his blinds softer than the ache in my chest. Sienna's absence lingered, a silent weight, but her desperate pleas from the night before no longer held me captive. I stood, my legs unsteady, and knew I had to face what came next. Jack handed me a coffee, his nod a quiet promise of support. I sipped it, the warmth steadying me, and decided to return to the apartment. It was time to take back my life. I entered our place, the air stale, every corner heavy with memories I couldn't touch. Sienna's things were still there, her scarf on the chair, her mug on the counter, but they felt like relics of someone else. I found a note on the table, her handwriting shaky. "I'm moving out. Keep the place. I'm sorry." My throat tightened, not with longing but with finality. I folded the note, tucked it away, and called the landlord. The apartment was mine, a small victory in a war I hadn't wanted to fight. Days blurred into weeks, each one a step through fog. I couldn't stay still, couldn't let the silence win. I signed up for a guitar class, my fingers clumsy on the strings, but the chords filled a void I hadn't named. I joined a running group, my breath ragged at first, the pavement pounding under my feet like a heartbeat I'd forgotten. Strangers became friends, their laughter pulling me forward, reminding me I was more than my pain. One evening, I found a box I hadn't noticed before, tucked under the couch. My pulse quickened as I opened it, half expecting another piece of Sienna's past. Instead, it held old photos of me, birthdays, hikes, moments before her shadow grew long. A note slipped out, written in my own hand from years ago. "You're enough." I'd written it to myself, a reminder I'd buried. I sat back, tears burning, and felt something shift. Sienna hadn't defined me. I did. I stopped checking my phone for her messages. They'd ceased, and the quiet was both cruel and kind. I posted one last update to the forum, thanking the strangers who'd steadied me. Their replies flooded in, a chorus of encouragement, but I didn't need them anymore. I was finding my own way, one clumsy chord, one steady stride at a time. The hurt didn't vanish. Some nights, I'd lie awake, her face flickering in the dark. But I learned something vital. Love wasn't enough without truth, and holding on could hurt more than letting go. I'd lost 5 years, but gained a truth sharper than loss. Freedom came from choosing myself, even when it stung. The journey today has come to an end. Did you find this ending satisfying, or did it catch you off guard? Let us know how you feel right below. If you loved this story, drop a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next adventure. Thanks for sticking with us, and see you in the next tale.